Yes, we are live at the Sydney Football Stadium for this Round 9 clash in the National Rugby League. It is the Sydney Roosters taking on the visiting Newcastle Knights. Hello, everybody. I'm Warren Smith, and thanks for joining us tonight for what is an important game for both these teams. It's almost like an end-of-term exam, and you'll take a look at the premiership table as they stand at the moment, these two teams, and you'll see that the Newcastle Knights, with a victory here this evening, can move into outright third position, just 1 point behind the West Tigers, while the Sydney Roosters, they need a victory to move themselves back inside the top 8. They are desperate for the 2 points here on their home turf this evening. Also with me tonight is Gary Freeman, and Gary, it's almost a must-win game for the Roosters.
It certainly is that, of course, Warren, but the big thing is Fittler and Lamb really have got to produce some great football if the Roosters are going to get it over the top of the Newcastle Knights here tonight. Along with Fletcher and Fitzgibbon in their forward back, they can go in full. They can certainly turn this Newcastle side around. But we have a look at the games that the Roosters have won and lost. You can actually see there they've won 4 games at home and only lost 1. There's one thing that Graham Murray pointed out to me earlier tonight, is that he's hoping that the side can come away with at least all their wins at home, and that is enough to get them in the top 8 at the end of the season.
Well, Brett Kenny is also with us tonight, and Brett, for the first time in a long time, the Knights' backline is almost back to full strength.
Indeed it is, Warren, and one player on the end of that backline is their powerful winger, Adam McDougall. He's got plenty of strength, as we can see here, able to bust tackles to get over for tries, and with that strength, a lot of pace. When he gets in the clear, he's a very hard man to catch. One of the things he does do so well is take the pressure off the Knights forwards. You see there, he does a lot of hit-ups, averaging 13 hit-ups a game, and with those hit-ups, he's getting plenty of metres. Tackling, well, that's another part that he's got to pick up in his game, but then again, he's not expected to do too much defence. I think we're going to be in for a great game tonight. Both sides like to throw the ball around. Look, I've got to favour the Roosters because they're playing here at home.
They also have had Matthew Gidley in doubt coming into this game, but he is clear to play, as is their 5'8" Matthew Johns, who injured his right ankle last week playing in that loss against the St George Illawarra Dragons at Marathon Stadium. He twisted his right ankle very awkwardly while making this tackle on Sean Timmins. He's been cleared to play tonight, but he might be in some discomfort, and we'll wait and see how he plays during the 80 minutes of the football as the Knights take on the Roosters here at the football stadium. And the Roosters, last-minute preparations, last-second preparations now. They're just about to leave the rooms and come out to the Sydney Football Stadium playing surface for the first time this evening. It is a very big game for them. You see their defence ranked 10th out of 14 teams in the National Rugby League at the moment. They need to keep this win-loss streak going at the moment, because if they stay true to form here this evening, they will follow a loss with a win, and that has been the pattern throughout this 2000 premiership. The 9th game of the season, of course, 26 rounds in the minor premiership, so we're just on a third the way through the season, and for credibility's sake, they need to beat the Knights here this evening, you would think. Of course, there are plenty of Newcastle fans. They have made the trek down the Pacific Highway once again. They always travel in huge numbers. They have occupied a lot of seats on that eastern side of the Sydney Football Stadium. And there's a couple of Roosters fans here as well.
I'll tell you what, there's some of them sitting on the sideline too. You got Cross, Barnett, Ponga and Logan that are out of the Roosters side, and they would be very, very happy. Well, one coach would be very happy, and Graham Murray, if he did have those players available here tonight, they aren't. So he's looking for some of these young guys to really step up to the mark and get them through this, because the Newcastle side they are playing are a very, very big side in the forwards.
The Knights will be first out, led out by their captain and front rower, Tony Butterfield. They get a warm reception from the big numbers of Newcastle fans who have travelled down to the football stadium. Adam McDougall, as we've just said, back into the lineup tonight. What a boost he is on the wing. O'Davis is the fullback, Tahu and McDougall the wingers, Matthew Johns and Andrew Johns the halves, and of course the coach is Warren Ryan.
Yeah, Andrew Johns, he'll lead by example here tonight. Run the ball. I know he's still carrying a little bit of a groin injury, but he's very, very dangerous. That's the man who have to shut down the Roosters.
Brad Fittler leads out the Roosters. What an important game as far as their season is concerned. Luke Phillips at the fullback. Shane Rigon has come into the side to replace Richie Barnett, who was out with a corked thigh injury, and also some changes on the bench. Nelson Lomme, Dallas Hood, Robert Miles and Darren Burns make up the 4 reserves.
Yes, and we spoke about Andrew Johns setting examples for the Newcastle side. Brad Fittler is the man that's going to direct the forwards around the paddock tonight for the Roosters. I expect a big game from him. He's looking to ensure that he can get a place in the Test team. So he's the man that's going to lead the side around.
They will defend the northern end of the football stadium in their traditional tri-coloured jerseys tonight. The Knights in their alternate, predominantly white and blue strip. Tim Mander is the referee this evening. You see the records of the respective teams, and we have time on at the football stadium. Shapes up as an enthralling affair, and I'm sure it's going to go right down to the wire. Luke Ricketson, the lock forward, takes it back to the 20-metre line off the kickoff. Fletcher, what a talented player. Of course, an international now. Benetti waits a dummy half. They go to the left-hand side. Cusack, oh, shoulder charge there. Peter Shields has come out of this very ordinarily. Has hit the ground and is still laying there on his back. Fitzgibbon now. They go through the hands. Rigon. Oh, wait a minute, Cello. Huge collision between Cusack and Shields. Fittler with the kick, driving it low. Bounce down to the 10-metre line. O'Davis is there to field it. Comes to Singer. He's tackled inside the 20. Let's take a look again at that tackle. The first one. There's Shields. Cusack just mowed over the top of him.
Well, I think you might see that he put his left arm up like that to fend him out. It's got him right on the bugle.
Some blood coming from the nose there. He is in some discomfort. David Fairley takes it up. He has been in terrific form. What a buy he is. Perhaps the buy of the season so far in the NRL. Andrew Johns gives it away to Butterfield. Fitzgibbon, a good front-on tackle. Bit of sting in the Roosters forwards already in these opening couple of minutes. Here's Peden up towards the halfway line. Medeiros gives it to Andrew Johns. Tries to chip in behind Minicello, who played at it and knocked it on.
You see Andrew Johns there laughing. Adrian Lamb put plenty of pressure on him. He just said, well, there you go, I've got one back already. He looks at his wrist there. He's got something already planned there. Andrew Johns puts the ball up. Watch this. He comes up with a drop ball. Just took his eye off him at the last minute, and there's a reaction. Look at he's pretty happy. But going to the scrum, he goes to his arm. They're already going to put something on there straight away.
We've got a blood bin coming up here for Peter Cusack. Might have also opened himself up in that collision with Peter Shields. There's a fair bet, I'd say, that his right eyebrow came in contact with Peter Shields' nose.
It certainly looks that way. It's been a very, very strong start by both sides, you've got to say. I mean, the defence from the Roosters has been outstanding, but we all know how strong this forward pack is from the Knights, and they'll be looking to dominate out there early in the game anyway.
Nelson Lomme gets a run after just a couple of minutes. He comes on to replace Cusack. They go to the blind side. Johns from the scrum base to the 10-metre line, picked up by Nelson Lomme with one other. Medeiros waits a dummy half. Comes to Fairley. He takes the settler towards the post. Spread to the left-hand side. Matthew Johns at first receiver. Puts it down cold. What a simple mistake from a star player.
Well, you're able to make mistakes sometimes, and Matthew Johns will be pretty disappointed with himself there as he was. And once again, they make a mistake. Lomme, they do get the feet to the scrum, and Adrian Lamb will do that.
A real let-off for the Roosters. And it's Jack Elsgood. Brings it back from the scrum win. Lomme. Playing in his third game in first grade in this 2000 Premiership. Rigon. A knee reconstruction during the off-season. Has come back to good form very quickly after coming back through First Division. A mistake now from the Roosters. They've put it down. Great chance again for the Knights. Matthew Johns to Andrew. Gets through them. Straight past Ricketson. Has support. Gives it to McDougall. Almost pushed dead in goal. In fact, he was. Tremendous last-ditch effort from Matt Singh.
That was great footy there from Matthew Singh, but I tell you what, Andrew Johns cut him up the middle of the ruck there, running at will, got a beautiful pass out. You just think from there, he would have scored the try. Oh, right on the line. Great work, Matthew Singh.
It was so easy the way Andrew Johns just poured through that gap. Fired a bullet pass to McDougall, and he went within inches of scoring. What a danger he is, the halfback. Fletcher. A gain of about 10 metres. They've been camped in this position for the last couple of sets of 6. They need a solid set here as Ricketson goes forward. Andrew Johns was holding his groin a moment ago, of course. He's had continual trouble with a groin injury. Fitzgibbon looking to slip a pass. He'll play it back to Rigon on the last tackle. And it's Fittler once again, who this time goes to the left foot for the clearing kick. Not a bad one. No, Davis will go inside his own 10 to bring it back. McDougall trying to push away from Singh. We were talking about just how strong he is, Brett Kenny. An example of it there. Mark Hughes. They picked up some good metres in these first couple of tackles. Butterfield across the halfway line. And a penalty as well.
Nelson? Yeah, over the top, mate. No, that's a flop, okay, mate? The tackle was held, you wouldn't get off him.
Well, I'll tell you what, he let all the other tackles go, and throughout the first probably 6 minutes of the game, he comes over, Lonnie comes out and just puts his hand on him. But I thought the referee was doing a great job before, then he goes and penalises him.
Andrew Johns awaited David Fairley for the Knights. They've had a couple of sets of 6 now in this position. Nothing to show for it as yet, but they've gone very close. Butterfield runs at Reuben. Just inside the Roosters 20. 5.5 minutes gone, no score at the football stadium. Gidley. A real threat there, well handled though by Rigon. Andrew Johns turns it back to Steve Simpson. Takes it up towards the Roosters 10-metre line. They spread it to the left-hand side. Through the Johnsons again. Matthew turns it back on the inside for Kennedy. 5 metres out on the last tackle. A poor pass, well handled by Andrew Johns. And some pressure coming up for Minicello. Oh, flying high! Tamana Tahu, the spaceman. He dropped out of the clouds. Tim Mander wants to look at it.
Thanks.
But if he's onside, he has scored a spectacular try.
Yeah, Minicello was caught in no man's land, really. He had to stand and wait. He probably would have been better off taking a couple of steps back and coming towards ball. Bad pass in the dummy half. Andrew Johns just takes his time. And where he's on the wing, he's onside by that. And watch, he's just standing there, Minicello. Got no idea where he's coming from, Tahu. And tremendous jump there, Brett Kenny.
Well, it certainly was. As you mentioned, Minicello, he was standing flat-footed. He had to come back and try and run into the ball. But look, this all started with a small break by Ben Kennedy. Got them up near the try line. Well picked up by Matthew Johns. And that's a great kick. Plenty of pressure there. Marlowe, Aussie rules that.
And the kid's been in great form, let me tell you. Can't score a try, and that's a green light.
No doubt about the try being awarded. The Knights get first points. There is the great chief, Paul Harrigan, sitting on the sidelines, of course. Andrew Johns will have the chance to turn these 4 points into 6. This was so good, we need another look at it. A new nickname for Tamana Tahu. You can call him from now on the man who fell to earth.
Where did you get that one from? Oh, I tell you what, I've seen the kid play in the last 3 games for Newcastle, Tamana Tahu. I tell you, he's been in exceptional form. He's got a great in and away on most players. But interesting to note, when Andrew Johns takes his kick, he was talking to the referee. He's having a ball out there already.
He certainly does enjoy his football, Andrew Johns, and it's good to see, because in this day and age of professional football, not too many players seem to be really happy when they're playing their game. This man, he just enjoys playing the game.
About 12 metres in from that eastern touchline. Strikes it nicely. And he's added the 2 extras. The Knights lead the Roosters 6-0 at the football stadium after 8.
Plugger Lockett.
And then some. I don't think Plugger ever got that far off the ground. Here's Fairley. They went very close to scoring when McDougall was pushed into the corner post by Matt Singh, but Tahu emphatically scored their first try.
Well, that's the major problem for the Roosters. There's so much time is spent in their own half. Newcastle doing a very, very good job at that. Andrew Johns leading the way.
Medeiros. Andrew Johns standing very flat to the advantage line. Some big contact there between Mark Hughes and Jack Elsgood coming off the wing, trying to put a big hit on. Butterfield takes it across the halfway line. You see it here again. Dummy to the inside. There was Elsgood trying to line him up. Luke Phillips comes across. Hemmed inside his own 20 as McDougall tries to roll him into touch. Singh. Give it away to Elsgood. Oh, picked up and dumped. Some strong tackling. McDougall with Medeiros just slammed Elsgood onto his back. Benetti. Fletcher at first receiver. Fittler. Couple from the ruck to Rigon. To push his way between both Gidley and Tahu, the man of the moment. Almost back to the halfway line. Hasn't been a bad set of 6 for the Roosters. Here's Fletcher again. Plenty of touches in this opening 10 minutes of the game. One more. Fittler again, this time a midfield bomb from the right foot. Not much pressure on Tahu. After he took that try, well, what a pass he's slipping as well.
What a great ball.
He has
Just
been
confidence.
in incredible form, hasn't he?
Oh, he's been unbelievable, honestly. And look, he'll get out there and do some hard yards for the forwards at the same time. Well, Jack Elsgood let him nose there, Hughes.
But that's the thing about this Newcastle side. I mean, they play with a lot of confidence. Regardless of what might have happened the week before, they always start the game with a lot of confidence.
Strong stuff over the top from Ruben on Steve Simpson. Andrew Johns, they switch it. A hole back through the middle of the ruck, and O'Davis was hitting it. They go to the right-hand side again. Johns stepping off that right foot. Back to Billy Peter. Taken by Benetti. Still a couple of tackles. He's lost it.
Just lost it. Yeah, no, good work.
Eden struggling in the tackle and has put it down and let off for the Roosters. And don't they need one?
Yeah, Tim Mander just seeing that the boys are just trying to pull him over here. Fletcher and Benetti. And he just loses the ball cold there. Good call by the referee there.
Don't go early, okay? Hold on there. We're going to wait. We're going to wait.
I must say, he's letting everyone hold the player down too, or dominate the tackle, as we should be saying. They're offside, Newcastle.
Far too early. Far too early.
Up too quickly, and Fittler will pick up some free metres. Andrew Johns wants to talk about it. Fittler at the third attempt will find the line. Good kick as well. Down inside the Newcastle 30. They'll go on the attack for the first time in this game. Fitzgibbon drops it on the first tackle.
That's good.
Well, the Roosters' handling at times has been atrocious this season, and they are struggling again tonight.
It's one thing with these, everyone keeps on going about every game, is the balls. I must agree, something must have to be done or looked at. Nearly every second player is dropping it.
Well, I'll tell you this, you want to hope they find something wrong with the football, because if they don't, we've got a lot of ordinary rugby league players running around in the NRL competition.
Provocative thoughts from Brett Kenny. O'Davis flings it backwards. Peden will pick it up. Good tackle from Rigon. Medeiros gives it away to Gidley. Ball back on the inside for Tahu. We'll never forget that pass that Gidley laid on for Darren Albert to score against the Dragons here last year. Johns kicking down to Minicello again. Just about every kick so far has gone to that right-hand side of the field as the Knights look at it, putting the youngster under some pressure. Rigon from dummy half, hit very heavily by Matt Parsons. No stranger to the Sydney Football Stadium turf. Of course, playing with the Rabbitohs last year. Ball out the back. Minicello couldn't pick it up. I think it was going to be a knock-on anyway there. Lomi lost the ball slightly forwards in the tackle.
That's one thing that Graham Murray wouldn't be too happy about, is throwing the ball up, trying to pop it out to the winger. He's had a pretty unsettled, probably opening 13 minutes of the game, but you know, the kid's very, very strong and a good runner. I'll tell you what, he will bounce back.
Stay in there, Luke. Don't go early.
So the Knights in Roosters territory already. Matthew Johns He'll play it back to Medeiros. Kennedy standing very flat to the advantage line. Now Parsons gives it off to Glenn-Grief. They keep it alive from Medeiros to O'Davis. 20 out. Plenty of tackles for them still. Andrew Johns showing it, spinning it. Through the hands it goes from Matthew to Gidley. Puts it on the toe. Phillips comes across and just smothers it. Will take the tackle there. Kicking early in the count.
It's a good thing to turn the Roosters around. They know that they've got them on the rack. Look at this, a great run by Marcello.
Almost got away, picked up, and a good thing too by Tahu, because he does have plenty of speed, and there was no one in front of him. A long pass as they switch it. Ricketson takes it to the 30-metre line. He's been playing with injury in recent weeks. Got a fracture in his hand, as well as a troublesome hip, and also a rib injury, which has required some pain-killing injections of recent times. Fletcher will play it. 14 gone, 6-0 to the Knights over the Roosters. Fitzgibbon will play it on the last tackle, or rather, Darren Burns in 19, not Fitzgibbon. Here's Lamb running it on the last, now puts the grubber in, getting through. Sure that Dallas Hood was offside there in front of the kicker. Allowed to play on.
I think he was offside by about 2 metres then at the same time. A good idea by Lamb to run the ball on the last tackle.
Butterfield, or rather Glenn-Grief.
On 3, Brad. Come on, mate, work it.
On 2 for 2 in a matter of minutes.
I'm just going to use the OPS here, but I won't. I'll back you up all the way, don't worry.
I'm very confident that's Matt Parsons. And Matthew Johns.
Like he's 6'6".
Kennedy will play it on the halfway line.
There's a little bit of difference between Glenn-Grief and Matt Parsons.
Well, it was no Butterfield I got him confused with. The tape got me. Phillips, good take running back towards his own goal line. Good tackle as well from Fairley. Scything job. Murcello gives it to Fittler. Trying to spread it, find some gaps on the edges, because the Knights have been very solid up the middle of the ruck. Here is Burns. 15 metres on their own side of halfway. Hood from Benetti. Comes through their hands. Comes to Fletcher.
Should have let that ball go then. Fletcher on the right-hand side had numbers.
He gets it away at any rate. Here's Lamb stepping back inside them off the right foot. Straight through the forwards. Got it back to Luke Phillips. Needed one more. Singh was almost there. 20 out from the Knights line. They've got them on the rack. This should be 10 in the bin. And it is. Hughes goes to the sin bin for a professional foul.
Well, I guess it was expected. I mean, most of the Newcastle supporters wouldn't agree with this, but he was holding him down. He probably thought he had no other alternative but to keep him down. They were on attack there. It was a fine break with Adrian Lamb, well backed up by Phillips. You can see here, he's just waiting for his side to get back. He thought he let him go in time, but unfortunately, the referee saw otherwise. Just 10 minutes.
Just wonder sometimes, Brett, maybe the referee should have let it play on, see what eventuated in that next tackle, then gone, there's no advantage, let's bring it back, there's a penalty. Because they were gone on the right, on their left-hand side there, the Newcastle side. There was nobody at home. Hughes plays the left-hand centre, so he would have been at marker.
The man who was tackled, Phillips, will have the chance to put the Roosters on the scoreboard. They trail 6-0. The Knights will be a man short for the next 10. Phillips hits it sweetly. And it's a 4-point ball game. Newcastle 6 lead the Roosters 2 after 18 minutes. O'Davis gets it 50 metres on the restart. It comes down to Darren Burns.
Tell you what, he's added some spark, hasn't he, Burns? Takes the ball forward well along with this guy here, Miles.
Shane Rigon, in fact. He has been very impressive in defence in the opening quarter of this game, and good with the ball as well, picking up some good metres. Plenty of leg speed. Benetti almost up to the halfway line. A poor pass from Rigon. Comes through Fittler and Lamb, and eventually Lands in the hands of Phillips. A wasted tackle for the Roosters. They need a good kick and a good chase off the back of it. Fittler kicking away from O'Davis. It bounces up very kindly for Tahu. Picks it up inside the 10. They haven't had much play at this end of the field, the Roosters. They'd love to force a mistake here. Get a full set of 6 tackles in close range to the Newcastle line. Grief. You can see the Roosters there, 2/3 of the game so far they've spent inside their own territory. They can't force a mistake, and they can compound it by giving away a penalty, and the Knights take a quick tap. O'Davis across the halfway line.
Bring it back, bring it back. That's it.
To this left-hand side they go. Kennedy. Here's Butterfield. Took it, bounced away from the tackle of Fletcher. Picked up by Ricketson. He went the best part of 20 metres, the captain. Badiris gives it away to Fairley. He runs it. Cusack dumps it off. It comes to Peden. He's wrapped up by Ricketson in cover once again.
Sir Andrew Johns needs to get involved.
Here he is at first receiver. Fires it to Matthew Johns. Under plenty of pressure from Fittler.
No, never back.
But he was up too quickly. The Knights will try and take the 2. And Tim Mander wants to speak to Brad Fittler. Tim Mander, I think, also wants to speak to somebody else.
I am constantly calling you back on side, and you as well, Brad. The touch judges are telling me as well. They're talking to you, okay? I am listening to them. You are not back. Come back with me, okay?
And they've been told in no uncertain terms.
Well, why don't you just penalise them if they're not onside?
He just has. And
that was for Freddie, but before that, there's Freddie Fittler there. He's probably about a half a metre offside. He's already blown his whistle before the ball even gets out there virtually. I tell you what, he's covered some yards to get out there at the same time. Matthew just laughing.
Is it a smile or a grimace?
I think a bit of both, actually.
He's carrying that ankle injury, of course. His brother's certainly been smiling, and here he is again with the chance to add 2 more points and put the Knights back out in front by 6. They haven't played this time with the extra man all that well, the Roosters, and it has cost them another 2 points. Playing against 12 men, and they have spent most of the time since Hughes left the field back at this end of the field.
I don't know if Andrew Johns is 100% fit there. I think he was saying something to the trainers as he's coming back. Well, he's just been limping just a fraction there.
Don't think he's been 100% since the premiership started.
Yeah, I know, I agree with that, but I just don't think he's right.
Here we go.
Simpson takes it up, wrapped up by Benetti. Done some good work around the ruck in defence. Fairley. Good pass away. They keep it alive. Enterprising play from the Knights. Peden will play it. Come back to this left-hand side. The forwards combining so well at the moment. Grief picks up some big meters as well. They go back to the right-hand side. Matthew Johns turns it back. It comes from Peden, from Badiris. Andrew fires a long pass to McDougall. Trying to step back on the inside. A line of Roosters there, although he just keeps running over the top of them. Incredible play from the winger. Badiris will play it on the last tackle. Grief gives it away to Andrew Johns. Chipping over their heads, looking for another set of 6. Elsgood, very good work to get back there and take it on the full.
That's great work by there, Jack Elsgood, to get back there. Just caught on the fingertips, did the correct thing. Didn't know if it hit the ground, might have bounced back.
Reuben, he's had a great game so far. Dropped the ball in the early moments. Hood. 12 metres on his own side of halfway. Lamb to Fittler. Almost bust the line. Got a pass away to Fitzgibbon, who put it down. Speaking of players who've had an unhappy time with their hands, he's put down a couple of balls. these first 20 minutes, and there is Andrew Johns leaving the field.
That's what I mean. I know he hasn't been 100%, but he wasn't getting involved in the last probably 5 to 10 minutes of the game. And as soon as he spoke to that trainer, I just knew he was gone. He just couldn't run.
Okay,
he couldn't pass. He threw that last pass and decided to come off. Fitzgibbon was very unlucky, though.
That's beautiful.
He's taking that play.
And Wiz, I've got to say, I mean, you don't have to be Einstein and watching this game to realise that the Roosters are trying to get outside the condensed Knights defence, but I think what they've got to do is try and make a few more inroads up the middle, try and bring the defence in a little more to try and create something out wide.
Here's Grief. 40 out from the Roosters line. Butterfield just charging at them. They are just making metre after metre across the advantage line. The Roosters continually on the back pedal. Matthew Johns gives it away to Kennedy. Good front-on tackle from Bonetti yet again. And it's Matthew Johns who goes to the air. Pressure coming up. McDougall, the ball floated behind him. In fact, it's not McDougall. It's Lenny Beckett out there for the moment, taking the place of McDougall.
Okay, change over, last tackle. Just there.
And the Roosters will have it, but once again, deep inside their own territory.
Well, they've just been coming out in the first half, hasn't they? Just putting 5 up for a kick. Or go nice and wide to Fred Fittler on about the third tackle to try and get on the outside of them or create something. You see them spread out there. You see them all spread out there now. Should go wide.
Lamb. Ball back on the inside for Hood. An ankle grab from Kennedy. Good pass from the halfback though. Fittler running at them. Got a ball away to Singh. 2 tackles left in this set of 6. Still playing with 12 men the Knights. Fletcher fires a long pass to Lamb. Stepping off that left foot. Gives it back to Reuben. Looks at the post and just goes for them. 20 out on the last. Fletcher, they've put it down again.
Just leave it there, Brian. Just leave it there.
What can you say? First grade player should be able to catch a ball like that right in the bread basket. He's just come up with a mistake at the Newcastle side again. Thank you for that.
They just can't exert any pressure on this Newcastle defensive line. In the Newcastle 20. Continually dropping the ball. Here's McDougall, who has moved back to fullback for the time being with Andrew Johns off the field. Davis has moved up into the 5/8 position, and hence Lenny Beckett on the wing for McDougall. Hughes, we saw him in the tunnel waiting to come back on. Butterfield, for one of the few times in the game, knocked backwards. Kick from Matthew Johns, down to Ellsgood. Pace has been frantic. Here's Hughes coming back on. Again the Roosters have put it down, and wouldn't you know it, it's Craig Fitzgibbon. He can't believe the night he's having.
I'll tell you what, he would be a little bit disappointed, but Australia just a probably fraction high at the same time. He knows he's disappointed with that. 2 in a row. Someone might be warming up at the bench just shortly. Can't keep giving Newcastle the ball in your half, because I tell you what, they're going to make you play very shortly.
I'm just wondering now whether the Roosters should possibly have a man as a pivot and just have the players running off a pivot rather than trying to throw these long passes up inside their own 40.
Gives it back to McDougall, grabbed by the jumper, only just. Tackle that needed to be made, it was made by Phillips. Here's Parsons, angling back in behind the ruck. Andrew Johns comes back from the dressing rooms. O'Davis flings a pass. Played it with his foot by Matthew Johns. He picked it up eventually.
Here it is, Shane.
Peden waits a dummy half. Fairley just steamrolled Adrian Lamb. It's the theme of the night so far. The metres the forwards have made for Newcastle. Tahu will do a similar job on Adrian Lamb. I just think he's in a Jackie Chan movie at the moment. A ball into the in goal. Gidley flying through. Tim Mandel likes it. They've scored their second. It's a result of all the pressure they've had just continually forcing the Roosters backwards, and they just weren't looking for the ball. Rolled into the in goal from Medeiros.
Oh, it's a great play there by Medeiros. Nothing really happening that much on that right-hand side, but watch him get the ball onto his left foot there, puts it through. Gidley knew it was on straight away, puts it over the try line. As you said, the amount of pressure and the amount of ball they had, they certainly had to come up with the points.
Certainly was a great kick, and very smart play. As you said, Matthew Gidley knew it was on, knew what was coming up. Medeiros just took a pace, one step out of the ruck, put the little kick through, and had great weight on it. Great try.
The man he ran past was Craig Fitzgibbon, who has had an absolute horror night so far. He'll be feeling very sheepish at the moment, having put down the ball, which has led to the Knights getting possession and scoring a try at the end of the set of 6.
Well, I think the Roosters really, they've just got to settle their play down. As I mentioned before, they seem to be throwing the wide pass to the forwards, and they're trying to get out too wide. I think they should tighten up a little, just settle it down, have maybe even 6 runs from dummy half, just to get a good set going, finish it off with a good kick, and try and work on their defence.
See Andrew Johns here just with the head going. Probably stays at the Warren Ryan. Probably find out whether he's fit enough to go on and play the game. But I think with this scoreline, he'll probably stay on the sideline.
A lot may depend on this kick too.
He hits it nicely, though it won't hook back enough from Robbie O'Davis. Plenty of length. The Knights are doing it nicely. They lead the Roosters 12 points to 2. Bit of handiwork to that right eyebrow. Ian Rubin hasn't had a great night as well also. He's put down a ball. And beaten a couple of tackles. Here's Fairley just running at them.
Great.
It's almost contempt they're treating the Roosters pack with at the moment.
What about the season he's having? He's just going forward at 100 mile an hour.
See, the Roosters conceded 18 tries on their right-hand side of the field. On the left-hand side, just 4 in comparison. Davis comes to Simpson. A number of the rangy Newcastle back rowers or front rowers that they have in this squad. Here's Peden from dummy half. Into Roosters territory. Matthew Johns gives it back to McDougall. Loitering in and around the ruck. He's got to pass away to O'Davis, and they pick up more metres yet again. Matthew Johns gives it away to Gidley. Back to Simpson. They stay alive. Matthew Johns fires it to Tahu, who for some reason was unmarked, and the reason was Minicello was back behind the line waiting for the kick.
Enterprising play again by the Knights. They love to back up, but they're still making inroads up the middle, and that's a problem for the Roosters. They haven't been able to control the ruck area. The Knights have controlled that, and they're starting to create problems out wide.
Rigon has been one of their only bright lights so far. Been very good for them, bringing the ball back. Some cheap metres from dummy half. Here's Fletcher. Got to pass away to Lamb. Picked up by Peden. They have made a couple of inroads, but every time they do, they drop a ball at the end of a set of 6. Ricketson, great pass away to Phillips. 35 metres out, he dropped it.
You had the
Hands in the ruck.
Yes, you did, and he dropped it. He dropped it because you had your hand in there.
They had a roll on once again, you know, and it could have been easy for Tim Mander, that is, to send Grief to the bin.
And there's his hand on the ball just there, and then he drops the ball after he let it go. But the big thing about the Roosters there, they needed more backup. They were making the breaks and they're offloading, but at the last minute, when they got caught then, someone needed to get on the outside of them. They need more backup, Brad.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, they're having one player as a backup player and no one's backing him up. So they're getting the half break. The player gets through the break and there's no one left.
So they'll have 6 tackles. Inside the Knights 20. Rubin. We'll see if they can hang on to it for 6 tackles. That's their first mission. Benetti to Fittler at first receiver. Sends it on the inside for Nelson Lommie.
Stand up, Nelson.
About 12 metres out. Fittler again with Lamb outside him. Has Fletcher, goes past Fletcher, gives it to Matt Singh. They've gone 3 tackles and scored. If they can hang on to the ball, they're a chance in this game. Some worrying signs for the Knights. The previous set of 6 tackles before the penalty, the Roosters made some huge metres down the middle of the ground, and they've cracked One of the few times they've had to withstand some Roosters pressure.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, it was great work by Adrian Lamb too. Went to the line, held it up at the last minute. But what about Matt Singh? He had a little right foot step, a little in and away on the left foot, and he just hits the hole at 100-mile bang. See you later, boys. Time to go.
Yeah, it was a great run, a great angle run. He came back in. Adrian Lamb coming across. The defence, of course, sliding. And when you've got sliding defence, if you run an angle back in, you're always going to run into a gap.
And the Roosters fans find their voice as Ian Rubin goes back to the bench with a nasty gash to his chin. Peter Cusack once again back there as well. And Luke Phillips. And bring them back within 4 points of the Knights. For the first time in the game, the Roosters fans find their voice. Phillips hits it nicely, curling back over the black dot. It's 12-8. What a first half of rugby league here at the football stadium.
Well, Graham Murray would be happy that they have come up with a try. Just like you said, if they hang on to the ball, they can do things out nice and wide. Interesting to note in this play here, seeing Freddie Fittler at first receiver and Adrian Lamb out one a little bit wider. I think it just takes the pressure off, and a great kick here by Luke Phillips. Get them straight back into the game.
And if you remember, they are staring a defeat in the eyes.
They were. They still may be. It's 12-8. They trail by 4. And the Knights have had by far the better of the first half. Burns gives it away to Fletcher. Bland. Gives it off to Lommy. Just less than 6 minutes left in this first half. Fittler. Good end-over-end kick, deep. Will end up inside the Knights in goal as McDougall will bring it back out. Still poised back there, playing fullback with Andrew Johns off the field, but about to rejoin the fray by the looks of things. Hughes gives it away to Beckett. Such depth they have. Tamana Tahu scored a sensational try, of course, and he's only out there because Darren Albert is still on the sidelines. And then you have the likes of Lenny Beckett, who himself has had a couple of man-of-the-match performances already this year. Grief. Just over the Knights' 40.
Just get away.
Too slow leaving the tackled player. Shane Rigon was in there, penalised, and once again they'll give up some easy metres.
This is the thing that's killing the Roosters, just that second, when they're going to play the ball, just get off and let him go, because this is 12 tackles in a row.
An important defensive set for the Roosters. You get the feeling they split it right wide, the Knights to the right-hand side. O'Davis. Just outside the Roosters' 30. Gidley waits for it. That's Fairley, who takes it forward. Grief. Puts it back to Badiris, through Andrew Johns to Matthew Johns. And a spin away from the tackle of Darren Burns, and he dropped it, trying to do so, and look at that. Talking of the right ankle and injuries, he is certainly hurting. Fitzgibbon takes it forward.
Well, Matthew just spinning off the leg, getting caught there again, coming down the right-hand side. Oh, the Roosters making another lovely break there with Jack Ellsgood.
Almost back to the halfway line. Oh, some strong stuff in there from Medeiros and Kennedy, stopping Craig Fitzgibbon. Rigon at the moment, playing in the dummy half role. Ricketson. Some good work in defence, covering for the Roosters. Oh, Fittler hit by a strong tackle from Peter and somehow hung onto the ball. Ricketson turns it back for Rubin, and they just point and say, go that way, Ian, towards the post zone.
I think he only knows one way, that's forward.
Rigon away to Lamb. Will go to the air. Not much pressure on Robbie O'Davis, who is now back there at fullback with Andrew Johns back on the field. McDougall has shuffled back to the left wing.
Well, one of the problems that Newcastle, I think, may face is the fact that both Johns boys are carrying injuries, as we already know, and both of them are limping at the moment.
Might be a good thing for the Roosters. They're both at 100%. Andrew passing it to Kennedy. The double pump And the Roosters' defence were right there when he took it. Pass which was borderline at best, in fact forward.
Well done, Leon.
Tim Mander getting the word from Leon Edney, his touch judge. There it is, no doubt.
Great positioning from the touch judge at the same time. He was right in line that pass. And don't worry, I think the crowd let him know at the same time.
Stay in there, Ben.
There should be more of it, I think.
Come on, let's go.
We're talking about
Stance a bit, Adrian.
a couple of sets ago with the Roosters having or needing a big defensive set. The Knights, well, I was going to say they certainly need one. Play on, knocked backwards.
Wait here.
Lamb flopped on the ball. It was put down by Matt Singh. It was going to have a knock on, but Mander said it was knocked backwards, and the Roosters continue on. The Knights will be trying to hang on here and not open up the way they did in the lead up to the Matt Singh try. Hood.
Line's good. Line's good.
One thing I would be doing if I was the Roosters, running straight at Matthew or Andrew Johns and trying to get the ball on the outside of them, because they can't move laterally here tonight.
And Adrian Lamb has taken it to the line very well tonight. A danger. Here's Benetti doing the same thing. Wrapped up by his opposite number, Badiris. One more tackle. Burns will give it to Lamb. It wasn't a great pass. Fittler now chipping back over in behind the line, and it was easily handled. Peden back there, just floating behind the line, took it quite easily.
Yeah, just on that right-hand side, Andrew and Matthew Johns were sitting there together. I think Freddie's going to take the ball to the line, use his step in and away, and put them under pressure.
The kick was a play they use sometimes with Richie Barnett flying through from that left-hand side. It's almost the old Ricky Stewart, Brett Mullins play from the Canberra days. Well, what a way to finish the first half for the Knights. Badiris has dropped it at dummy half, and the Roosters will get one more chance to score in the first 40 minutes.
I tell you what, they want to be really slow getting to this scrum, the Knights. They can't afford to let the Roosters score before half-time. Look, that was just a case of a guy looking to where he was going to pass the ball before he had it in his hands.
36 seconds left. Tim Mander has called timeout as the Knights were taking an eternity to get to the scrum. Was that the siren I heard? Something went off.
Okay, let's get your formation.
I thought it might have been an impersonator in the crowd again. Are we in King Stadium? Here's Fittler. Flat pass to Phillips. Tackled by O'Davis, who was playing up in the line. Burns. Trying to pivot in the tackle. Or play it back to Benetti. Back out there now. Lamb. Players left and right. The timing wasn't there on the play, and Hood ended up with it, but he was travelling nowhere when he took the pass. Fittler standing close at first receiver. Will go to the air. Some pressure coming up for McDougall. Phillips almost came up with it.
Knocked down by Luke Phillips.
He knocked it on, and that will end the first half. What a half we've had. Newcastle looking sensational in the opening 15 minutes, but the Roosters have hit back very strongly to round out the first half. And what a game we have coming up in this second 40 minutes, just 4 points in it as they go to the sheds.
Yeah, for Newcastle, the Johns boys have been controlling things around that ruck area, kicking and running at will, putting the Roosters under all sorts of pressure because they've had less ball, over 50-odd% to the Newcastle side. The Roosters are struggling. They've been doing a lot of defence, but with the ball in the hand, if they can complete sets of 6, I'm telling you, the Roosters are going to come back in the second half.
We'll take a break and come back to the football study, and right after this, the concerned Paul Harrigan watches his side go to the rooms. They lead 12-8. Time on for the second half. Stay with us for the 40 minutes it promises to be. Very important game for both sides. The Roosters need a win to put themselves back inside the top 8. The Knights can take outright third position with a victory here this evening. Butterfield putting up some good metres on the second hit up. Kennedy was well held in that first half, although it's a step on there, and it took a good tackle from Fletcher to stop him. Here is Fairley running a long way before the Roosters defensive line got to him. He offloaded yet again. It came back to O'Davis through Matthew Johns and now Kennedy. Adrian Lamb has spent a lot of time watching forwards run at him. Here's Butterfield. Big game in this first set of 6.
You just dropped that. you've just dropped it.
Butterfield has put it down on the last play of the ball.
You've got to make an effort there, Tony. You just stand there, mate, and just drop the ball.
He certainly was big.
I'll tell you what, Tony Butterfield, when the referee blew that up, he was going to absolutely do his stack, but he thought he'd get the referee just by his lonesome and have a bit of a chat to him.
L's good. Just on 90 seconds gone in the second half. 12-8 Newcastle lead the Roosters. Fitzgibbon has been injured in this tackle. He took a heavy knock.
I think Butterfield coming over the top there. He's cracked them straight around the nose region.
And before that tackle, it was a night that Craig Fitzgibbon would like to forget, and right now he might not be able to remember anything.
I think we might hear more about this tackle.
He's in a fair bit of discomfort, isn't he? 15 tackles so far, 8 hit-ups. No offloads, but he has put the ball down a number of times. And
the referee now is calling Tony Butterfield over. I'll tell you what, if the player goes off the way that he is, I think he'll be gone.
We're just going to wait. We're just going to wait. Yep. Let's wait for it.
Just waiting for Fitzgibbon to leave the field. Now, Tim Mander has taken an eternity.
You have come over the top there, okay? Now, I was not sure of the point of contact. I'm actually going to put that on report, okay, and it's going to be a penalty, okay? It's going to be a penalty.
I'm sure that Tim Mander has had a word from his video referee. If not, he took a very long time to speak to Tony Butterfield.
I did hear him say that he wasn't real sure where the point of contact was, so now he's going to put that on report. And here is the front on, and that's got him straight on the chin.
It's inconsequential, of course, whether Tim Mander reports it on the field or it's looked at afterwards, because the judiciary, of course, has the option of looking at all things on video and citing a player at any rate. But Tony Butterfield might have a case to answer. We'll see. Reuben takes it up towards the 20. Benetti gives it off to Burns. A real chance for the Roosters here. Deep on the attack early in the second half. A try would level us at 12 points all. Fittler. Lamb. Fletcher. Early on in the tackle there was Matthew Johns. Phillips waiting a dummy half. The play the ball was a slow one. Fittler goes past a couple of options. Good pass to Robert Miles. An equally good tackle made. A desperate one by Matthew Gidley. Fittler. Quick ball to Ricketson. Almost to the line. One last tackle left for them. They can't get any closer. Fittler, grubbering, looking for 6 more tackles, going back. Hughes shovels it over the dead ball line.
And that's what the Roosters need. They need Freddie Fittler to take control of this game, going to the line, putting guys into holes. You saw Ricketson run into a beautiful hole, the tackle previous. He just needed someone on the outside of maybe to score a try. Look at this.
Sorry, this is a perfect set of 6. They had players running onto the ball, players in motion, finished off with a great kick. Now they get the opportunity to have another 6 tackles against the Knights.
Davis. The goal line drop out almost 50 metres on the fly. And it's Ricketson. Oh, who has put it down in the tackle. The ball is there to be had.
Both ways, Roosters. First.
It's just incredible the way they continue to fall on their own sword.
Well, you'd be disappointed with you, wouldn't you? You get the repeat set. The first tackle, he goes up. So it's a pretty good tackle there. And the arm of Butterfield, the right hand comes through and hits the ball out. Is that class as 2 men in a tackle?
I think you're entitled to hang on to it.
I agree with you. I wasn't asking that one, Warren. Is it 2 men in the tackle?
And what it comes down to is just a lack of ball security by a lot of players in the game today.
Hughes will play it. Here's Fairley. So a number of offloads in this game. From Matthew Johns. Oh, the Knights have replied. The counter-attack from Fittler. He picked it up on the burst. Came to O'Davis, who picked him up. But they're at the Knights' 20. O'Davis, it could have easily been a penalty. Play on is the call. Burns to the Newcastle 10. Benetti waiting for it. We'll give it to Fittler again. Fletcher. Lamb. Took them on, was tackled by Butterfield. Once again, another great chance for the Roosters. Here's Fletcher. Playing in at first receiver. Cusack will take it towards the post. The Knights doing a good job of slowing the play the ball down. Again, Fletcher in at first receiver. And now they get the penalty for the Knights being up inside the 10.
I get the mark.
Here's what would you do here?
Get back in the line, David.
First thing I'd do is get the ball from that bloke there and bring it back from Burns and tap it. You don't need to kick it out here. What they can actually do here is walk back on the mark and take the ball back 15 metres.
Why do they do that? Why do players continually do that? It's astounding. Here's Reuben. They certainly weren't setting it up for any particular play.
Benetti for one up.
Fittler to Cusack. The Knights clinging to this 4-point lead, but for how long? Benetti waits. Gives it off to Fittler. To Lamb. Turning it back for Ricketson. Not much happening in the right-hand side for the Roosters. Kennedy forcing the lock forward backwards. Lamb. There's options inside and outside. Fletcher was angling up, looking to hit a gap just behind the ruck. Now he stands at first receiver again. Benetti, though, goes himself from dummy half. One more tackle. Will they go to the air? Fittler stepping, left foot, right foot. So strong, close to the line. The ball came out, but was dropped forward by Fittler.
Change over. Just back there.
Well, so that's what he had to do. He has to go to the line. He needs players around there to take away the defenders. He's going, darting and weaving. He just needs players on the edges watching him. Look, he goes in between. Jack Elsgood comes up at the last second. They've got to get there a fraction earlier. And there's the knock on.
The Knights here, all standing back in behind their own line. It's almost an unofficial timeout, if you like. They just refuse to play the ball and keep the game going. So Tim Mander had no option but to call timeout. News coming through from the dressing rooms as far as Craig Fitzgibbon is concerned. A major blow for the Roosters. Fitzgibbon, a broken jaw, and that is very bad news. You would think he'd be missing for some time from the Roosters lineup. They aren't especially deep as far as forwards go at the moment, with Scott Logan out with a broken hand. Here's the Knights holding onto the ball. Butterfield slipping it. Oh, they give it up at any rate. They are not the same team that opened up this game in the first 15 minutes.
I'll tell you what, Ian Rubin saw Tony Butterfield coming up with the ball, and he just launched himself at Butterfield at 100 mile an hour. The players here are arguing over who actually took the ball out here. Watch him, he comes flying. Here he comes. Boom!
It doesn't matter because the ball was knocked forward by Tahu.
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. I don't know what they're complaining about.
Well, Brett, you used to probably do it yourself and try and get one over the referee.
Mate, I wasn't a halfback.
Fittler. Way to Phillips. Oh, I don't know what he was thinking, trying to slip a pass on the first tackle. The handling has been atrocious from the Roosters. Andrew Johns on the sideline, waiting to come back into action. McDougall. Strong return from him tonight. Peden. Step past Ricketson. Singh was there also. 30 out from the Roosters line. Pass picked up by Davis, turned back on the inside to Butterfield. Davis again. Taking it one off the ruck, gives it back to Medeiros. Trying to keep it alive. There was a chance on that left-hand side. The Roosters were short of numbers. They come back to the right. Johns. Short pass off the hip. Back into Kennedy, and then Johns grabbed at his hip and went to the ground and just stumbles forward in behind the Roosters markers. He is definitely struggling. Johns kicking it high to the air. Some trouble again, this time for Elsgood, but McDougall coming through, couldn't get there. It's come off Elsgood. The Knights will get it back with a restart from a goal line dropout.
Well, I know that both of these Johns boys are carrying massive injuries into this game in the second half. Andrew Johns, plenty of pressure put on him, and that kick that he did put up got hit nice and late.
Can you believe how bad the Roosters' handling has been?
No, I can't.
Reminiscent of the game they had here against the Bulldogs, where they dropped heaps of ball. Butterfield. Fairley. They've cost themselves some big metres by being slow getting to the ball from the goal line dropout. The front rower harassed by the halfback Adrian Lamb. O'Davis runs straight open, picked up by Hood and Benetti. Badiris gives it to Johns. Two men to his right-hand side. He went past Billy Peden to pick up Matthew Gidley. He was monstered by 3 Roosters. Robert Miles amongst them. Simpson. Just inside the Roosters 30, they've got one more tackle. Andrew Johns to Matthew. This time grubbering into the in goal. Phillips will have to go to grounds. It was the best part of a voluntary tackle. As close as you can get without having one.
Very much so there, but he did a great job. Pretty courageous there too. He had 3 players coming down on top of him now. Minicello takes it forward for the Roosters.
Burns. Away from the tackle. Johns up very quickly out of the line, despite carrying the injuries. That's a tiger in defence. Here's Fittler. Gives it away to Robert Miles. Oh, good tackle. Front on from Tamana Tahu. What a find he is. Fittler. Midfield bomb off the side of the boot. The Roosters might get it back here. A chance. Oh, Singh Ellsgood was falling to the ground. Might have been tackled without the ball. Maybe just stumbled over the fallen Newcastle Knights player. It was a good chance, though, for the Roosters.
Yeah, and they just let them catch the ball, didn't they? Matt Singh come over there, just trying to pop the ball on the right-hand side, which I think it might have hit Ellsgood in the head at the same time. Just watch this. He goes up and catches it. Beautiful. Players around him. There it is. And it does. Straight on the scone.
Certainly wasn't tackled before the ball. He was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Tell you what, he has been absolutely outstanding throughout the whole game, that bloke there, Fairley. Tremendous game.
Butterfield. Some strong stuff again. Here's Rigon. He's standing there in the tackle, not held, according to Tim Landers, so Rigon took the chance to try and really put a hit on him. O'Davis spent a lot of time in the last couple of sets of 6 at first receiver. Here he is, stepping in traffic. Got a good pass away. Kennedy swings it away to Hughes. He has Lenny Beckett outside him, but lost it in the tackle. He's claiming it came off Shane Rigon. We'll wait and see what Tim Manders says. He's waiting for a word from his touch judge.
Okay, so it's their feet, yeah.
And it's going to be a Roosters feed, I think you'll find.
No one played it.
Not played at by the Roosters. And the Tricolours will get it from the scrum feed.
Great little short break down the side here. Jack Ellsgood holding his line down at the last minute. They tried to turn the ball back inside. As referee, you heard him say, he did not play at the ball.
Don't break early, mate. Bind.
So it's Roosters feed.
Fittler. Phillips gives it away to Burns. Versatile player, can fill a number of holes. Here's Miles. Just outside the Roosters 40. No change to the half-time scoreline at the football stadium. Still the Knights lead the Roosters 12 points to 8. Fletcher playing it back, and it comes to Ricketson, who just pushed away from Matthew Johns, who hit the deck yet again. He won't need an ice pack after the game. He can just go and sit in the fridge. Here's Tahu. Butterfield waits. McDougall. Oh, good front-on tackle from Fittler. Minicello down low. Hasn't there been some willing stuff in this game? Simpson.
I think both sides know how important it is to get the 2 points. Either go third for the Knights or jump in the top 8, the Roosters.
It's early in the season, and it's an old cliche, but dare I say it, almost a semi-final atmosphere to this one.
Hey, this is a great game of football.
Peter, away to Kennedy, into a huge gap, has support coming. Hughes outside him, draws the fullback and gets there himself to score for the Knights. What a run by the second rower. It came from nothing. A hole on the left-hand side of the field. He poured through it, had plenty of support, but didn't need it.
Well, this is a great pass by Billy Peden. Straight through the gap, showed plenty of confidence in his own ability. He had men on the outside. Through the dummy, the little step off the left. Went over for a very good try.
Adrian Lamb is the man who came in there, hit the Vichy stay out. He had Ricketson inside him, but look, the man puts the ball in two hands, confuses the fullback. What's he going to do? I'm going to take it all the way there. Run 25 metres, not a problem. Look at the excitement. He knows that could be the match winner.
It certainly was a great try, and of course Newcastle really haven't been into the second half that well. I mean, it's been all the Roosters. They've finally got there. They've got a good break. You see, back the Johns boys are playing with injuries. They've really been struggling for a while, the Knights, and maybe this is the thing that'll give them a bit of a lift.
Matthew Johns goes to that right ankle. That's sore. The left hip is sore. He probably has a sore neck after the whiplash he got when he hit the deck just a moment ago in defence.
It's amazing, Warren, how the soreness will disappear if they come up with a win.
Warren Ryan looking on from above. Davis from close range adds the extras. And it's a comfortable battle once again for the Knights. They lead the Roosters 18 points to 8. And if the game follows the pattern so far, the Roosters will hit back. It's been the pattern for them all season. They win one and lose one, and win one and lose one.
I think Brad Fittler needs to start running the ball on the last tackle with Adrian Lamb. They need to start running the Johns boys. We all know they're not 100% fit. They need to go to put them under pressure.
And as well as that, be in at first receiver.
Here's Parsons. A look of determination on his face as he took it up to them. Medeiros bounce back to the left-hand side, turns it back for McDougall. Speed and strength at angles as he plays it on the halfway line. Gidley. Oh, poor pass from Glenn Grief, and eventually they get a kick away, a hurried one from Matthew Johns. It goes straight down the throat of Luke Phillips. Oh, Kennedy aiming up to try and put a huge hit on the fullback. Is there a prize tonight for anybody who can KO the most players? It's incredible.
No respect for their bodies out there tonight. That's what the coaches would have been asking for. Great run there by Alsgood.
Singh gives it back to Fitzgibbon. I'll tell you what, the quickest recovery from a broken jaw you've ever seen.
Highest speed ball.
And the word coming through from the Roosters trainers is what he was very unlikely to play any further part in this game, and they feared he had a broken jaw. But Fitzgibbon plays on. Could be a tremendous story of courage. Of course, we saw recently Brad Drew continue playing for the Panthers with a broken jaw.
Well, he might be just the inspiration the Roosters need. Fred Fittler there just trying to turn the ball back inside. Needs more backup. Oh, that's a great tackle.
All came out the back there as Grief was hit in the tackle.
Right here, come on, Brian.
Here's McDougall. Put the speed on. Lommy was there. Look at him. Just continues to go across the 40-metre line. Talk about inspirational. Flat pass from Medeiros. Taken by Parsons right on the line. Benetti slumps out of the tackle. He's in some discomfort. There might not be a fit player left on the field at the end of this game. Phillips has had plenty of work to do bringing it back. And the Roosters once again find themselves a long way from the Newcastle try line. Elsgood just outside his own 20.
Steve Simpson.
Matt Singh will take it forward for a settler. The Roosters forwards at the moment really feeling the pinch. Here's Fletcher. First forward to touch it in this set of 6. A pass from Fittler to Miles. Ball back in the inside for Fitzgibbon. Gave it away to Minicello. One-on-one with Tahu. Pushed away from him. Stays in the field of play only just. A good tackle from Simpson. Great pass from Fittler. From Reuben. It comes to Fittler. He gives it to Lamb. They go right. Burns. A step off the right foot and keep it alive. He had Lamb trailing with him, but couldn't get it back to the halfback. One more tackle. 15 out from the Knights line. Lamb grubbering it through. Played at by the Knights and fallen on by Badiris, and a good thing too, because Dallas Hood was right there.
And he was flying through the big front rower now. They're starting to turn things around, going nice and wide on early tackles of Roosters. That's what they've got to do, the Newcastle Knights. Lenny Beckett gets out a dummy half strongly.
Well, was Warren Ryan going to fit them all in this squad when Darren Albert comes back? Butterfield and Fairley, both starting front rowers. They've had a short break and are ready to come back. Reef will play it. Matthew Johns still with the kicking duties at the moment, with Andrew on the sideline. Phillips once again. Elsgood. Found a gap on this side in the previous set. Miles stands and gives it back to Elsgood. 19 minutes left, and the Roosters down by 10. An important game on their home soil. 4-1 record coming into this game at the Sydney Football Stadium. Benetti appealing for a penalty, believes he was taken a little bit high by Robbie O'Davis. Fittler gives it away to Fletcher. One last tackle for them, and it's Lamb. Gives it off to Phillips. In behind the line. Beckett goes back. Oh, almost dropped it too as he got back there to cover up.
Did a good job though, didn't he? Gave him a couple of metres start. Managed to get there and get the ball. Just watch this. He starts flying back here. Gets his body in the right position in between the players coming through and the ball. That's what really saved the knock on.
Butterfield. And here's Grief. He is just tireless. Every time he gets out there, knows only one way, grabs the ball and just charges at them. Another good kick from the Knights. They picked up some good meters yet again. Phillips gets it back to the 30 as he did on the previous return. Elsgood. Still plenty of time for the Roosters. And they've had some success on this side of the field again. A pass from Fittler to Miles. Minicello, it's a carbon copy of a play just moments ago.
Well, that's where Matthew Johns is standing, so they're going right out to his rears as Fittler takes it forward again, out to Lamb.
Steps off the right foot. It comes to Fittler. Plenty of Newcastle defence there. Darren Burns straightens it, gives it back to Fletcher. Loops a pass over the head to Fitzgibbon, who was desperate and valiant going forward, trying to pick it up. Playing in great pain. And playing because his club needs him to. O'Davis. Now he's in trouble.
The referee taking no notches here, saying if you want to try and slow the game down, that is just not going to happen. He just warned them then. Next time, bring the ball in and get the game going.
It's almost like watching the West Tigers against the Sharks on Saturday afternoon.
They were really injured.
I think they've been watching some old replays of the '69 Grand Final. Warren Ryan, of course, no stranger to the Tigers' ways. Grief. Simpson. About 35 out from the Roosters line. O'Davis. Been good value tonight. So is this man. How are they going to keep him out of the Australian team? Badiris. Grubbering into the in goal between the legs of Minicello. He was almost clean bowled. And will just play it inside the field of play.
He's had some struggles with those balls along the ground, hasn't he?
He has had some troubles.
Yeah, had some troubles.
Here he is from dummy half. Right to Robert Miles. Had some searching runs down the left-hand side. Cusack, away to Burns. The spread to the left-hand side. They come this way with Reuben, good tackle from Badiris. Lamb on the last tackle. Kick, and it comes from Craig Fitzgibbon. Let it bounce. McDougall will track back now and pick it up. Didn't want to take the chance of knocking it on the full. Trying to step in between Ricketson and the man coming up helping him in the chase, Nelson Lomme. Here's Beckett. Dancing a la Matthew Gidley.
See now the Newcastle side just slowly getting back on side. This is their third ruck. I'll just run out of the dummy after this, Hughes.
More trouble for the Knights. Players down in back play. They'll need Hawkeye Pearson, BJ Honeycutt in the rooms at the end of this. Plenty of needle and thread as well. McDougall getting back to his feet with blood coming from the nose. The bomb goes up. Phillips will stand underneath it. No pressure. It was very deep. Davis getting up to pick him off. Or Phillips thought about slipping a pass.
Davis has had 3 goes at Luke Phillips at the same time.
He was like a drover's dog, wasn't he?
Fitzgibbon pushing away with the right hand. And more news coming through from the Newcastle dressing room this time. Andrew Johns will play no further part in the game, probably succumbing to that groin injury. And Matthew Gidley once again has injured his groin, and he also won't be out there for the final 13 minutes and 45 odd seconds now. So they're down to 15, the Knights, and they're carrying some injured players all the same, just as the Roosters are. Lamb, a great pass. Fittler flings one to Burns on the inside to Lomme. Hughes wraps him up with Matthew Johns. Fittler off the left foot, got past a diving O'Davis, a hurried kick away on the left foot. Minicello is there. They couldn't come up with it, knocked on by the winger, and it will be a Newcastle ball.
Our House Wednesday.
The good view there of this ball being knocked forward by Minicello. He just got his left hand there. Good decision by Tim Mando.
I'll tell you one thing the Roosters won't be too happy about is that Ricketson's picked the ball up and shot it another 10 metres away. They don't need the ball to be thrown that way. The Roosters need it to be played quickly.
13 minutes left. Fitzgibbon goes back to the bench. We'll hear more about his efforts later on this evening, and I'm sure tomorrow as well. Fairley tries to crawl for a couple of extra metres. Hughes.
You can see how tired both Newcastle and the Roosters are. There's a lot of running from dummy half or one off the ruck from the forwards as now Butterfield takes it forward. But without Matthew Johns, he's steering around the paddock. They're just willing just to grind out this win here tonight.
The energy reserves down very low at the moment. Despite the Roosters being 10 points down, they're a big chance still. Great run and a pass from Kennedy. Got it away to O'Davis, and Phillips made a great tackle. One more for them. To the 10-metre line. Badiris rubbering again, this time too deep. The magic worked in the first half. He couldn't come up with a kick, which leads to a try on that occasion.
Well, you can see here, a lot of the players are getting very tired now. They're switching the ball back inside. Ben Kennedy, a great run. Got a good pass away. Fortunately for the Roosters, they're scrambling defence, and their fullback, Luke Phillips, come up with a nice little trip. Stop the play from the Knights.
Hood standing, getting a pass away, but needed to link up with Lamb, who was right there and was going to pick up some more metres as well. Cusack has it. 9 metres on his own side of halfway.
That's the one thing that's going to change the game is the one. Oh, that's forward by a mile. There's one thing, if one of the forwards are going forward, they need to get with him, because if he makes half a bust, that's going to change the pace of this game.
I think it's a case, too, of all the forwards from the Roosters are very tired. They just can't keep backing up.
An important 6 tackles coming up for the Roosters. You would think they would need to score when they have such good field position. They'll play it through Hood. Benetti to the right. Fittler. Lamb outside him. Gives it off to Fletcher. Standing, looking to offload it. Strong front-on tackle again from Mark Hughes this time. play on. The players stopped for a moment there, thinking there was a pass that may have gone forward. Darren Burns gets absolutely crushed by Tony Butterfield.
Well, that's the stuff that'll win you games for the big front row. And leading by example is now Freddie Fittler goes to the line.
Fittler away to Wellsgood. Hughes got him by the collar. They're hanging on by a fingernail. Benetti away to Fittler. Lamb reaches behind him. Had options. Lomme was on the inside, and on the outside he had a couple of players as well. Miles was there. Fittler now gives it to Cusack. He hangs on to it. Ellsgood trying to step in traffic. Drops it out the back. Benetti swings it between his legs and coming through to pick it up. Lenny Beckett picks it up. He's in a race now with Matt Singh. We've got him from behind with the help of Luke Phillips.
Oh, they just hit the hole on their ball down there. The Roosters, they were going to score, but now it's the Newcastle Knights hot on attack. Parsons
just
takes
over the halfway line they are with Parsons. Here's Fairley. Keeps going. Burns has come to the sideline. He is still struggling after being demolished by Tony Butterfield.
Look at that courage. Matthew Johns can hardly run, and he takes the ball forward. He knows his boys are tired. He's just going to try and lead by example.
McDougall has coughed it up on a pass back on the inside from Parsons. 9 minutes left. There is still time for the Roosters. Benetti waits. They come to the left-hand side. Lamb away to Fittler. They have been so quick to get up in the face of Brad Fittler and limit his chances to run with the football all night. Benetti creeps into Knights territory. Less than 9 minutes left now. Flat pass from Fittler to Miles. What a combination they've proven to be. Minicello almost into open space. Gets up, goes again, knocks the ball backwards. It should be play on.
Sorry, I thought that was Newcastle.
Oh, Tim Manders says he knocked it on.
One-on-one, lost control of the ball in the tackle.
I'd just like to see this play once again. Minicello doing a magnificent job. Got the ball away back inside. This is Minicello now. And just here, that's
backwards.
But it's come up the Newcastle player. That should have been play on.
My question is, where is the touch judge in those circumstances? Why couldn't the touch judge have said something?
Well, if the video referee can use it tries, why can't they be used in this?
It comes down to this. There aren't enough officials out there. The game has gone past having one referee on the field.
Well, why can't we just go to the video referee and say, can we have a look at that? Was it knocked out or was it knocked forward?
Then we'd be going to them for everything. Now Beckett. The answer is another referee out there. I'm convinced of it. The man in the middle is put under too much pressure too often throughout the game and forced to come up with crucial calls like that one. Fairley across the halfway line. It has been a difficult game to control. Plenty of contact in it. I think Tim Mander, for the most part, has had a very good game. Phillips will get back there and knock it over the dead ball line.
Ball still rolling.
Well, he really wanted it to roll an extra half a metre.
The thing about this game, Ryan, it has been very physical, but it's also been very fast. Both sides are very tired now, and if the team that is going to be able to control the ball these last 6.5 minutes will obviously go on and win that. The Roosters desperate to score a try, but they've got to control the ball first.
Benetti will play it.
Oh, great heads.
Fittler gave it away to Fitzgibbon. They have made just about every inroad in this second half down the left-hand side. Minicello cutting back infield. Time is the enemy of the Roosters. Just over 6 minutes left, and they're 10 down. Lamb! Oh, ankle tapped. McDougall was the last line of defence. He was there to make a tackle if needed, but he wasn't called upon. Here's Singh, grubbering it. McDougall, very brave, went to ground and knocked it on.
Now, the ball's been thrown away. This is where I like to see the clock stop by the referee, because Newcastle now are wasting time. Great work, Maxine here, going to the line. This is the Adrian Lamb bust there, through the dummy inside. Lucky ankle tap there. Ben Kennedy comes over to make the tackle. Straight after that, he sees there's nobody at home. I'm going through, and just puts his body on the line. How every player here has done here tonight. 34 of them.
Take a blanket around and make them throw some extra cash into it. They deserve to pay double for what they've seen tonight here, the fans at the Sydney Football Stadium.
It's been physical. There's been great football.
Nice and easy, Ben. Get in
Interesting to note here, Singh at the lock position.
Fittler
just too
will
tired.
score to give the Roosters a chance. From the scrum, we have 5.5 minutes left. He's an amazing player, and he has given them some glimmer of hope.
Just watch how tired the Newcastle players are. He just runs a little bit wide, does Freddie Fittler. They just couldn't get to him. That's inspirational stuff from their captain. To lead by example, take them on at 100 mile an hour. And that's his first try for the year.
It's taken him until round number 9. Now here is Craig Fitzgibbon.
How tough is he?
Well, we told you earlier he would take no further part in the game because he had a broken jaw. The Roosters trainers have said, well, you can't do any further damage to it. We need you. And he is out there putting them within range in this final 5 minutes here at the football stadium. Minutes left.
And this will be the longest kickoff in history.
He's so tired he could barely kick it 10 metres. He drills it, though, down to the goal line. And Luke Phillips made a spectacular catch. Here's Ricketson. What a finale at the football stadium. You thought Barbara Streisand was good here.
Expect the Roosters now to go wide very early in the tackle count. They know they're going to try and run them off their feet.
Fletcher. Tackled by Badeiros. There have been some stellar performances on both sides. Burns, who was almost knocked cold just minutes ago. 3.5 minutes left. Benetti links up with Lamb. Has Miles outside him. He has been damaging with the ball. Last tackle. They need it back. They need to get it back in their hands somehow. Fittler kicks very high. Beautifully weighted kick because Beckett took the ball after he left the air from the field of play. They will get it back. A centimetre perfect kick from Brad Fittler. And the Knights will be desperate to hang on. They lead by 4 and the Roosters are going to come at them.
Well, if there's one side that can score 2 tries, it is the Roosters. The referees now notice they're taking their time, but this is the kick from Brad Fittler. Beckett does a great job and a correct decision there. Great work, Tim Mander. Graham Murray now looks on. He knows his side is enraged now. Or hammering it home and maybe coming up with a try.
A huge goal line dropout, and that's all you can do if you're a coach of either of these teams now, is just look on and let them play it out. The Roosters bring it forward with Dallas Hood. 32 out from the Newcastle line. Benetti gives it to Lamb. Fitzgibbon carts it forward. A strong tackle over the top from Parsons, but they were up too quickly.
Wait! Get that down. That was right across there. Get that down.
The tackle was too high. Fittler taps it and plays on. Burns looks to his right-hand side, just carts it forward. The Knights are out on their feet. Benetti, Fittler to the left-hand side. Fires it to Robert Miles, reaches out and scores the try that ties this ball game up. And Fitzgibbon will have the chance to win the game for the Sydney Roosters with a broken jaw.
Oh, what a great of football. I wasn't too sure about that tackle that Parsons made on Fitzgibbons, and I still maintain, I think that tackle was all right. It was a very heavy tackle, but that should have been just play on. They took it to the numbers here. Brad Fittler once again going to the line. Look at him hold up the ball. Miles hits the ball on the outside, gets through Billy Peter, gets it over the line. And as you said, now, look at this. He runs it beautiful. Tamata Tahu was going out. He had to stay with his man. Nothing else he could have done.
An incredible piece of play. Fittler has carried them across the line, got the ball to Robert Miles. Those two have just combined so magnificently in this second half of football. Miles scores perhaps the most important try of the Roosters season so far.
Well, put it this way. Brad Fittler with the ball in his hand. You run into the hole, son, and I'll give you the ball at the same time.
He has been dynamic. Now, Craig Fitzgibbon. What a story this is. 1 from 1 tonight. If he can make it 2 from 2, they will chair him off the field. If he misses, I hope they make them play extra time. This deserves an encore. 9 metres in from this western touchline, and the Roosters fans will tell the story for you. He hits it, and it is there! Craig Fitzgibbon kicks the goal that puts the Roosters in front. We have 13 seconds left in this game. What an incredible comeback from the Sydney Roosters. The short kick-off from Newcastle, and that will be all. They have said that this is a club that has no soul. Well, they have laid that claim to rest, quite possibly forever, here tonight on the grass of the Sydney Football Stadium. They can stand tall and hold their heads high because the Roosters have beaten the juggernaut that is the Newcastle Knights in one of the great finishes that you've ever seen in a game of rugby league.
Oh, man, what a great game of football. And they are out on their feet. Both sides are. I know that the Roosters are full of joy and excitement. They all went up to, of course, Craig Fitzgibbon, who put that over. And weren't they happy with that? Simon Benetti, he was up there hugging, he was kissing him. What a great game of football. Big hits, great run, tremendous tries, players playing under courage. They were injured, they were down and out. Oh, it was just a great game of footy.
Down by 10 points with 5 minutes left to play. Brad Fittler scored from the scrum. It gave them a chance, and they just kept coming. At the Newcastle Knights, can you believe they've lost the game after the performance they put in? Tony Butterfield was a rock.
Oh, he was solid around the ruck area, and the same with, you might as well say, Fairley, Medeiros. Kennedy was great. But I tell you what, it all comes down to the loss of the two Johns boys. When they went off the field, they lost their direction around the ruck play, lost their kicking game, and then that's when Brad Fittler decided, hey, this time, it's time for me to open up and play some footy for the Roosters, and got them on their winning way. Well, their forwards are outstanding at the same time, weren't they, the Roosters? I thought Fletcher was great. Fitzgibbon, when he come back on, oh, he was on fire.
How did he come back on? They know what a performance it has been from him. They have gone to the fans on the eastern side of the football stadium. They come to the western side now and thank them.
What about the fans? Unbelievable. Great stuff.
It's a rare night, and well may you pump your fist, Brad Fittler. You are a star. An incredible game. I'll tell you what, I said that it was perhaps an overstatement when I said it was a semi-final type atmosphere to this game. Well, that wasn't an overstatement, it was an understatement. It was like a grand final.
It certainly was. Now, it does get the Roosters into the top 8 now.
Let's go downstairs to Brett Kenny.
Yes, and I have with me a gallant second rower, Craig Fitzgibbon. Craig, what is the extent of the injury?
I'm not really sure yet. I'll get it tested tomorrow, so see what happens after that.
There was reports it could be a possible broken jaw.
Yeah, I think I cracked down to the chin there. I'm not sure. Get tested tomorrow. Hopefully it's just a couple of loose teeth and it'll work out all right.
I know you say great courage in coming back in the second half, but I guess the Roosters really did need you. You were struggling a little bit towards the end of the first half.
Yeah, I had a disgraceful first half, and I knew it. I think everyone else on the park and in the crowd knew it, so I had really no option but to come back on and try and have a dig. But still very unpleased with the way I went, and hopefully I never get put in that situation again, but, you know, it's nice to get away with 2 points.
It certainly was. And a very physical game. I guess you come to expect that from the Newcastle side.
Mate, they're giants, and they're one of the best packs in the comp, and, you know, they got over the top of us in the first half, basically, and we were lucky to get 2 points, but we'll gladly take it.
Well, it puts you in the top 8 now, so I guess that must be very pleasing for the side.
Yeah, it is. We're very hot and cold. We can't put 2 together, you know. We're going win-loss, so it's good to get one. Hopefully we can get another one next week.
Mate, how did you feel at the end there? I mean, it was 18 all. I think about 25 seconds to go, and you've had a pressure kick.
Oh, very, very nervous. Just glad I got it to make up a bit for the errors I made in the first half when I probably should have, you know, I got a clean break and put one down cold, so it was nice to be able to put one over and seal the victory.
Well, mate, I guess after that kick, I think everyone will forgive you for the errors you may have made early in the game.
Oh, I don't think I deserve to be forgiven, but if they do want to, I'll take it.
Mate, once again, congratulations on your own game. It showed a lot of courage.
Thanks, Brett.
What a story it is. It's all about second chances and the chances you make for yourself. And he certainly gave himself a chance to be a hero tonight. And that's what he was out there, playing in great pain. And, of course, we'll go back downstairs to Brett Kenny now, because for every amazing tale on the winning side, there's one on the losing side, and here he is with the Newcastle captain.
Yes, I have with me Tony Butterfield. Tony, very physical game. Your defence, especially in the first half, was outstanding.
Yes, it was a torrid game in the middle. Played at a quick pace, but in the end it was disappointing for us. But I thought the Roosters hung on well, and probably, I guess both teams deserved to win, but they hung on really well in the end and got up.
Mate, you said that it was disappointing to lose. That's obvious, I guess, but there was some great courage showed by a lot of your players. There was a lot of injuries to John's boys. I mean, at one stage you looked like you only had really 14 players to play the game.
Yeah, well, you know, one can offer excuses like that, but, you go out on the field with 13, regardless of who you've got on the bench, and that 13 were capable of doing the job for us tonight and very nearly did it. And I thought my boys played particularly well, and it was a good outing for us. Unfortunately, we didn't get the points, but it certainly showed the courage that the boys have got and the resilience to hang in there.
Well, the forwards especially, I think, started very well. You made a lot of inroads up there, up the middle, and that set the foundation.
Yeah, well, the forwards have always got to do the job. We've got to sit there, the wider the foundation, the higher the apex, as the old fellas used to say, and that's what we set out to achieve. And I thought we built our game particularly well through the early stages of both halves, but as the bounce goes, we ended up falling late in the game through a couple of penalties and loose possession.
You're a side that plays with a lot of confidence. I mean, you seem to be a side that if you can come up with a loss one week, next week you still start confidently. The guys are throwing the ball around well.
Well, you've got to play with confidence. You've got to believe in yourself, and our preparation is such that we can believe in ourselves. We've got the confidence to achieve whatever we want to achieve, so long as again we set that foundation. And I thought we did that again tonight, but probably, as you say, the injuries started to take their toll at the end, and we just didn't quite have the support going right into the latter stages of the game.
Well, mate, it's on again next week. Let's hope that those injuries aren't as bad as everyone thinks, and you can come up with a victory.
Yeah, thanks, Brett.
Thanks, Tony.